Good evening, sir. Sir, your voice is not audible properly.
Yeah, I'm adjusting my mic.
Okay.
স্যার নমস্কার।
Hello.
হ্যালো স্যার নমস্কার। হ্যালো, হ্যালো, হ্যালো,
ଏ ଛଗ।
Hello? 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 Hello, am I audible? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Sir, you 1 minute, sir. Okay, sir, you are
Now,
audible.
now I'm audible now, no? Okay, okay, fine, fine.
Yes.
Sorry for the inconvenience. There was some problem with my neck band. It was connecting somewhere else. So I'll be starting now. Okay. So today's topic is environmental management. Is it visible? Is the topic, the PDF visible to you? Hello?
Sir. Good.
Okay, okay. So today we'll be learning about fundamentals of management. Okay. So introduction, objectives. The first unit contains all these things. Okay. Here this block has 14 units. Okay, which we'll be covering today. So the first unit contains about the fundamental of management. We know what is management. Okay. As we know that environmental science is a multidisciplinary majority. So including coursework in water resource, wetland ecosystem and wildlife biology, soil science, forestry and land use, environmental quality relationship with other disciplines. Okay. So all these need to be managed. Okay. So when fundamental management or environment science involves in leading to environmental management, which is a systemic approach to find practical ways of saving water, energy and material. Okay, obviously when you are trying to save something, okay, then we have to manage it. Well, then only we can save it. Without managing it, we cannot save it. So the objectives, what are the fundamentals of management? So first is developing an understanding of the basic function of management, understanding how management helps in implementation of goal, prepare planning, organization, leading and controlling activities, effective and efficiency to achieve organization objectives. Then explain the difference between managers and leaders, then acquiring knowledge of key principles of the management and to be able to critically apply this knowledge to analysis of a complex case studies, and finally understanding how to take the opportunity to integrate and apply the skills we have gained in the field to fulfill and apply our individual and organizational needs. Okay. So meaning of management, as we have already seen, the English word management comes from the Italian manegere, to handle or to particularly tools or a horse. Okay, which derives from the two Latin word which means hand, and agree means to act. Okay, the French word for housekeeping, manager, derived from. So management is nothing but how we will be handling things. That was management means. So many great persons have told management having a different meaning. Van Fleet and Peterson define management as a set of activities directed at the efficient and effective utilization of resources. Then Nixon's Mosley and Petris define management as a work with human, financial and physical resources to achieve organizational objectives. And Kretner defines management as a problem-solving process of effectively achieving organizational objectives through the efficient use of scarce resources in a changing environment. And F.W. Turner defines management as the art of knowing what to do, when to do, and see that it is done in the best and the cheapest way. One of the most shortest and the best, you can see a definition of management. Okay. Then Harlan defines management as the art of getting things done through and with the people in formally organized group. It is an art of creating an environment in which people can perform and the individuals and can cooperate towards attaining of a group goal. Then George R. Terry, management defines as distinct process consisting of planning, organizing, accumulating and controlling, utilizing in each both science and arts and following in order to accomplish predetermined objectives. Then Masters and Dogley defines management as the process by which cooperative groups direct action towards common goals. So these are the different management definition of management given by different people. Okay. So what is the importance of management? So management has important role in business and organization as it coordinates the effort of people to achieve goals. Same is when we come to environment also. Okay. So we need to coordinate. Okay. And use the available resource in a proper way so that we can achieve things. Then nature of management. Management is a process. Okay, if you will see, management is a process. It consists of certain functions like planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. Management is universal. It means the management is required for every type of organization. It may be a business organization or social or politically. It may be a small firm or a large one. Management is goal directed, means every organization is created to achieve certain goals, and that goal can only be achieved when we manage it properly. So success of management is determined by the extent to which that goals are achieved. Then management is a continuous process, means management is an ongoing process. It contains as long as the organization exists, means if the organization is there, management will be there. Without managing it, you cannot manage the organization. Management is intangible, means management is not a place like a graphics showing board meeting or a graphic showing a school principal at her office desk, which can be seen. It is an unseen force which can be feel and its presence in the form of rules, regulations, output and work climate, etc. Management is a multidiscipline, means management has many disciplines. Like organizations requires wide knowledge about various disciplines as it covers handling of man, machine, material and looking after product, distribution, accounting and many other functions. Management is a social process. The most important aspect of management is handling people, organization in a work group, and this involves developing and motivating people at work and taking care of their satisfaction as social beings. Management is a relative, not absolute principle, means management principles are relative, not absolute, and they can be applied according to the needs of the organization. What the needs of the organization are, according to the management will be taken care of. Then what are the scopes? First is functional scope. In business or in a company, understanding functional scope is very important. In functional scope, there is the element is predetermined, directing, organizing, motivating and controlling. For doing work properly, the work are divided by some department. First is production management, where the product which is produced has to be managed, means that the product is not underproduced, neither it is overproduced. Then purchase management. In a business is one of the most critical functions as the organized purchase system. There is a lot of things has to be do in a purchase department, such as purchase department, such as purchasing of raw materials. Okay, so this should be managed properly, otherwise to make a good profit. Then marketing management, the product, how it should be managed, how to we sell the people, how do we reach the target group which you want to target. Then personnel management includes the function of employment selection, appointment, training, development and compensation. Then financial management, running business may be challenging for you, but there are many things to consider that helps to run your business smoothly. So in financial management, make decisions to investment is fixed assets or in current assets. Then office management. Office management is an essential part of general management. Office management is a function of planning, organizing, consulting and controlling of office work, duty and their performance. Then comes the strategic and scope. For achieving better performance, a company has to apply different types of strategies. Just a minute. So strategy has to be managed in a continuous process of the business and industries in which the organization fixes goal to meet all present competitors and research about them. Then scope for the viewpoint of the necessity. This scope is the understanding of some kind of help that makes easy to company to perform better. For doing this, dividing different kinds of departments, subdivisions, unity and region. Then what are the levels of management? Most of the organizations have 3 levels of management: top level, middle level and lower level respectively. So top level is for strategical level management, middle is for tactical level management and lower level is for operational level management. So top level, the top level management is board of the directors, the CEO and the company executives who have the final say how an organization runs. They make vital decisions daily, ensuring the company operates effectively and efficiently across all departments. Then is the middle level management, generally consists of the financial department who are responsible for reporting directly to the top management. They make critical financial decisions within a business which can ultimately affect the company's bottom line. Top level management is reliant on the information that the financial department serves them to make executive decisions about the business. Lower level management includes all the supervisors, departmental heads, account managers and anyone in charge of managing a team within a business. Okay, these come under the lower level management. Their role is to direct and control their team and report back to the higher management on the daily runnings of their department. Then functions of management. Management has been defined as a process involving responsibility for economic and effective planning and regulation of operation of an enterprise. So these are the basic management functions: planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. Okay, this is how management functions. So first is planning. It refers to the thinking beyond, means to plan for the future so that we do not face any difficulty. Okay. Then organizing, it refers to the harmonizing adjustment of various parts to achieve common objectives. Then staffing, it refers to the filling and fill the post with people so that the work is not hampered and carried out smoothly. Then is directing, it refers to the instructor, guiding, communicating and inspiring people in the organization. Under direct following 4 activities are included. Supervision, it refers to the monitoring of the progress. Then communication, it refers to an art of transferring facts, idea, feelings, etc. Then leadership, it refers to the influencing others in such a manner to make them do work what the leaders want them to do. Then motivation, it refers to that process which exits people to work for attaining of desired objectives. Then is controlling, it refers to bringing the actual result closer to the desired result. Under this, the manager monitors whether the jobs are being performed in accordance with the set plan or not. Deviations are then checked for by matching actual performance with predetermined standards. Then distinctions of management. So management being pervasive in nature and have a much wider scope is often confused with other terminology such as administration and leadership. An explanation of the same is provided below. So management and what is the difference between management and administration? Management is a key function in an organization. It is a function of working with people and coordinating their efforts so as to accomplish the objective of the organization. Every institution requires making of decisions, handling people, evaluating their performance, and achieving the objectives. So in business institutions, it is called as management, while in other words, it is called as administration. Okay. So when it comes to government organization and everything, it is called as administration. But when it is a business institution, it is called as management. Newman defines administration as the guide, leadership, and the control of the efforts of a group of individuals towards some common goal. Selden defines administration as that function in the industry which is concerned with the determination of the policy, consideration of finance, production, distribution, and ultimately controlling the activities for accomplishment of the objectives. So it is clear from the above definition that policy making, planning, and decisions making are the basic aspects of administration, whereas there are supervision, implementation, and operation are the tasks of the management. The distinction between management and administration. First is meaning. Management means work, means getting the work done through and with others. Administration is concerned with the formulation of objective plans, policies of the organization. Level. Management is relevant at middle and lower level. Administration is relevant at top level management. Nature. It is an executing function. It is a decision-making function. Skill. It involves technical and human skill. It involves conceptual and human skill. Applicability. It is applicable to the business concern, that is profit-making organization. It is applicable to non-business concern, that is clubs, school, hospitals, etc. Management decides who should do it and how it is to be done, but administration decides what is to be done and when it is to be done. The decisions are influenced by options, values, beliefs of manager. Here the decisions are influenced by public opinion, government policies, customs, etc. In function, management is doing function because manager get work done their subordinates. But administration is a thinking function because plans and policies are determined under it. So these are the basic difference between management and between management and administration. Now we'll see difference between management and leadership. Okay. So management is the art of systematically organizing and coordinating things in efficiency. But when it comes to leadership, it is a skill of leading others by example. Management means control, but leadership means trust. We always trust our leaders. Okay. But managers, they control us. Then emphasis. Management emphasizes on managing activities and leadership emphasizes on inspiring people. Management has power is rule, but leadership power is influence. Focus on bringing stability, it encourages change. Its strategy is reactive, it is proactive. Its formulation is policies and procedures, here principles and guidelines. Perspective management has a short range perspective. Leaders require a good foresightedness. Then ethics in management. Obviously, ethics should be there in everything we do, and that is also applied in management. Okay, so whenever we are doing something, okay, it should not be outside the ethics. It should be within the ethics when we are doing something. So they're doing the right thing to the employee and customer and demonstrating the willingness to go the extra mile also falls under managerial ethics. Means manager should ensure that things are being done correctly. That is the first ethics of a manager. Types of managerial ethics. First is managerial ethics are broken down into two primary types. Those that pertain to legal issue and those that pertain to moral issue. Company leaders have a choice. They can do the bare minimum when it comes to ethics, or they can set a high standards in the industry and community. Legal ethics considers the many rules and regulations for any company. There are human resources issues such as making sure that people are hired in a fair process, giving a safe work environment and fair pay. Managers and employees are expected to not break laws by harming, harassing, or otherwise infringing on other people's rights. Minimum safety standards must be met as well as work standards set forth by the Occupations and Safety Healthy Administration (OSHA). Moral standards of ethics don't necessarily need to align with the company legal standards. A company might not be required to offer paternity leave, but the company might believe that it is important to give fathers their own time with a newborn. So moral ethics would also be how the company deals with customers, complaints to ensure that people feel good about their experience with the company from the top down. That's what comes under your ethics. Then transformation of management. So it mainly means transforming the company in direction, processes or other critical elements of operation so that the company runs well. So the people by themselves have to do work, how they do their work and what they do their work with the key question. Even in the age of artificial intelligence, people are still mandated for governing the output of the machine. So processes help people to do better work. Process defines the standardizing work, preventing people from reinventing the wheel every time they begin working. Then technology helps people do faster, more innovative work, especially in the age of artificial intelligence. We hand off routes, mechanical tasks to machines, for brewing coffee to transcribing speech in order to free up our time for more effective conjunctive endeavors. So, elements of management is people, processes and technology. Interlinking. When people interact with processes, we scale. So no more reinventing the wheel. Instead, with processes, we accelerate the growth. Innovation. When people interact with technology, we innovate. We create new ways of doing familiar things at first, and then we open our minds to new way of doing new things. Consider web. In the first decade of the World Wide websites were brochures. We use technology to create new way of doing something familiar. Compared to websites from 1994 to 2004 to website of today, they bear little resemblance to each other as we found new ways of doing new things. So when processes will interact with technology, we will automate. Means the machines operate at a complete different speed than human. With the advent of machine learning, deep learning and ubiquitous deep cloud computing, machines execute processes far faster than any human could. Then what are the challenges of management? Organizations are faced with a variety of external factors that provide potential opportunity and threats for short-term and long-term success in any given environment. So, encompassing a macro environment perspective, these factors can be effectively summarized with the acronym PESTEL. PESTEL stands for the political, economical, social, technological, environment, and legal influence in a business encounter as it pursues its objective. So, there are 5 major challenges. Building a competitive advantage, maintaining ethical standard, managing a diverse workforce, the use of new information system and technologies, and practicing global crisis. So the PESTEL analysis gives political factors, economic factors, social factors, technological factors, environmental factors, and legal factors. So when an organization is there, all these factors will affect you. First is political factor. The factors relate to how the government intervenes in the economy, means how any new policy or old policy will affect your business. Then the economic factor. These factors include economic growth, exchange rate, inflation rate, and interest rates. These factors greatly affect how business operations and make decisions. For example, interest rates affect a firm cost of capital and therefore to what extent the business grows and expands. Then social factors. These factors include the cultural aspect and health consciousness, population growth rate, age distribution, career attitudes, and emphasis on safety. Technological factors. These factors include technological aspects like R&D activity, automation, technology incentives, and the rate of technological changes. Then environmental factors include ecology and environmental aspects such as weather, climate, and climate change, which may especially affect industries such as tourism, farming, and insurance. Then legal factors. These factors include discrimination laws, consumer laws, antitrust laws, employment laws, and health and safety laws.
Sir, each chapter is scope and management long question as per otherwise the distinction between management and leadership.
Yeah. Yes.
And
These two would be the long question from this unit.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Next chapter, principles of management.
Hello.
Sir.
कुछ बोल रहे हैं आप?
नहीं, actually I asked this to means whenever you will teach, just you tell me that I have to underline the important lines.
Okay. I'll be telling. Okay. Fine. See, in this unit 2, the conceptual framework of management, this could be a long question. Okay, and functions of management. So first we saw what is management. Now we see the conceptual framework of management. So management process of which a cooperative group directly action towards the common goal. Okay, these we have already discussed. Okay, then what are the features or characteristics of a management? Management is goal oriented, means the success of a management activity is accused by its achievement of the predetermined goals or objectives. Management is a purposeful activity. It is a tool which helps use of human and physical resources to fulfill the predetermined goals. So, for example, the goal of an enterprise is maximum consumer satisfaction by producing quality goods and at reasonable price. Then management integrated human, physical and financial resources. In an organization, human being works with non-human resources like machines, materials, financial assets, buildings, etc. So management integrates human efforts to those resources. It brings harmony among human, physical and financial resources. Then management continues. Management is an ongoing process. It involves continuous handling of problems and issues. Management is a all perspective. Management is required in all type of organization, whether it is political, social, cultural or business, because it helps and directs various efforts towards a definite purpose. So clubs, hospitals, political parties, colleges, hospitals, business firms all require management. Then management is a group activity, means only one person cannot manage everything. It has to be a group. So it's a very much less concerned with individual effort. It is a more concerned with group. It involves the use of group effort to achieve a predetermined goals of management of ABC and Co. Then objectives of management. The main objective is first is getting maximum result with minimum effort. That should be the first objective, that we attain our goal to the biggest of extent, but with the least of the effort. Then increase the efficiency of factors of production. So proper utilization of various factors of production, the efficiency can be increased to a great extent, which can be obtained by reducing spoilage. Then maximum prosperity for employer and employee, means both employer and employee should be prosperous. That should be the objective of the management. Then human betterment and social justice. Okay, management should look into that. That is social justice to the people, and human are getting betterment. Then level of management, top level. This we have already discussed. Top level is the board of directors, chief executive or managing directors. Okay. Middle level also we have discussed, mainly the financial person. And lower level
Sir,
are the supervisors. Yes.
Sir, in our book, all these are not given because after objective 2.3, 14 principle of management, Henry Fell given. These are not given totally.
Okay, I'll share it. This blog I have only downloaded from that e-course only.
Okay, sir.
I'll share it. Maybe it is the updated one. Okay, it is the updated one. I'll share it. No issue. In the group, I'll share it. Otherwise, you can send me personally a message. I'll share there also.
Okay, sir. I will send it.
Yeah. So lower level of management, they are assigning of job and tasks to various workers. They guide the interested workers for day-to-day activities. They are responsible for quality as well as quantity. They are also ensure with the responsibility of maintaining good relation in the organization. They communicate workers' problems, suggestion and recommendatory appeals. They help to solve the grievance of the workers. They supervise and guide the subordinates. They are responsible for providing training to the workers. They arrange necessary material, machines, tools, etc. for getting the things done. They prepare periodical reports about the performance of the workers. They ensure discipline in the enterprise. They motivate workers. They are the image builders of the enterprise because they are in the direct contact with the worker. Then importance of management. Management has its importance in every field. Concepts like stress management, self-management, waste management, etc. are upcoming area, and the importance of management described as the first is achieving group goals. Okay, from the first very beginning I am telling, management is not about a single person, it is about achieving a group goal. Challenges the factors of production, assembly and organization and the resource integrating the resource in effective manner to achieve goals. It directs group efforts towards achieving a predetermined goal by defining objectives of the organization. Then optimum utilization of the resources. Management utilizes all the physical and human resources productively. This leads to the efficiency in management, and management provides maximum utilization of scarce resources by selecting its best possible alternate use in industry from out of the various use. Reduce cost, it gets maximum results through minimum input by proper planning and by using minimum input and getting maximum output. Management uses physical, human and financial resources in such a manner which results in best combination. Then establish sound organization, no overlapping of effort, smooth and coordinate function. To establish sound organization structure is one of the objective of management which is in tune with the objective of organization, and for fulfillment of this it establishes effective authority and responsibility relationship. Who is accountable to who can give instructions to whom, who are supervisors and who are subordinates. Then establishes equilibrium. It enables the organization to survive in changing environment. It keeps in touch with the changing environment and with the change in external environment. The initial coordination of organization must be changed, so it adapts organization to change demand of market. Then essentials for prosperity of the society. Effective management leads to the better economical products which helps in turn to increase the welfare of the people. Good management makes a difficult task easier by avoiding wastage of scarce resources. Then functions of management. Management has been described as a social process involving responsibility for economically and effective planning and regulation of operations of an enterprise in the fulfillment of given purpose. It is a dynamic process consisting of various elements and activities. These activities are different from operational function like marketing, finance, purchase, etc. Rather, these activities are common to each and every manager irrespective of their level or status. Different experts have classified functions of management according to George and Jerry. There are 4 fundamental functions of management, that is planning, organizing, accommodating and controlling. So these are the 5 parts of management: controlling, planning, organizing, staffing and directing. These we have already discussed. So planning, it is basically function of management, deals with the chalking out of future course of action and deciding in advance the most appropriate course of action for achievement of the predetermined goal. Then Then comes to this is the planning part of the management, where we plan so that our goals are achieved properly. So planning is necessary to ensure proper utilization of human and non-human resources. It is all perspective. It is an intellectual activity, and it also helps in avoiding confusion, uncertainty, risk, and wastage. Then organizing. Organizing is always helpful in every case, because without proper organization we cannot achieve the goal. So it involves identification of activity, classification of grouping of activities, assignment of duties, delegation of authorities and creation of responsibility, coordinating authority and responsibility relationship. In staffing, we know staffing means appointing people for doing our work. It includes manpower planning, estimating manpower in terms of searching, choosing the person and giving the right place, recruiting, selection and placement, training and development, and remuneration. And performance appraisal and promotions and transfers. Directing is that part of managerial function which accutates the organizational methods to work efficiently for achieving of organizational purpose. This is considered life spark of the enterprise, which sets it in motion the action of people, because planning, organizing and staffing are mere preparation for doing the work. So direction is the inner personal aspects of the management. It has the following elements: supervision, motivation, leadership and communication. So supervision, we all know, it is overseeing the work of the subordinate. Motivation means inspiring, stimulating or encouraging the subordinate. Leadership, process by which manager guides and influences the work of subordinates. Communication, process of passing information, experiences, options, etc. from one person to another. Then controlling, it implies measurement of accomplishment against the standard and correcting of deviations, if any, to ensure achievement of organizational goal. So it mainly has establishment of standard performances, measurement of actual performances, compromisions of actual performance with the standard and finding out deviation, then corrective actions. Then comes to Unit 3, function of management. Here the possible long question is management processes. Okay. Definition of management we have already known. So Luther, Glick and Unrig describe managerial function in the form of postprobe. Each letter of these formulates demonstrate the initial letter of management. P is planning, O is organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting and budgeting. But modern people call management as planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. The first is planning. Planning is a primary function of management. It is an ongoing activity which is critical before the implementation of any strategy. Planning deals with the chalking out of the future course of action by deciding what to do. So planning deals with action, deciding what type of work to do, why to do, and when to do, and where to do, and how to do, and who are going to do. So all these come under planning. We have to plan all these things so that our work get done properly. So the first step is analyzing the business environment. We need to analyze the business environment. Then only we can plan. Without knowing the environment, we cannot plan. Okay. Then comes the second step is setting up objectives, setting the organization objective in line with the goal of the organization and diverting strategy. Okay, that is the second objective of the planning. Okay, that we are setting up the objectives. Third is setting planning premises. It is concerned with determining whether the organization can deviate from the actual plan and the case of such deviation. Then identifying, evaluating and selecting alternatives after establishing a forecast and premises a number of alternatives. The next step is formulation of secondary plan. It flows from the main plan, indicating in details the time, schedule and sequence of achieving the various tasks. These plans expedite the work of supporting in achieving the main plan. Then implementing, appraising the plan. Planners may formulate necessary steps and ensure effective implementation of plan. To appraise the effectiveness of plan, information is collected from different departments or concerned persons. Planners need constant evaluation and the success of the plan and take corrective actions whenever necessary. Then is organizing. Organizing is the second function of management. This is concerned with combining people, work to be done and physically resources into a meaningful relationship to achieve organizational goal. It involves preparing a formal structure or design of the organization within which efforts is coordinated, framework of activities is constructed, determined, and the individual job, duties and responsibility of individual jobs as well as the manner in which the duties are to be carried out. So the first step is to identify the activity which are to be performed, deciding about the role and responsibility of individual jobs. The activities group according to the nature of the work by placing employees with shared skills and knowledge in respective functional departments. After the creation of a department, the next step is to assign responsibility to a well-qualified and capable individual, fitting with function to be performed. The next step is to delegate authority to the concerned manager so that they have the power to command their subordinates and get the work done. Then establishing interrelationship between different groups to enable smooth interaction, increase the efficiency of operation of the business aids to achieve organizational goals. Staffing, already discussed. The third function of management is the integral part of the management process. Okay, it is the staffing. First step is to determine and forecast the manpower required by organization, means how many people are required to be, what we can say, hired to do a job. So when the requirement is known, the next step is to search for prospective employees. Applications are invited for prospective employees, and the applications which are not found suitable as per the requirement of job are screened out. Then training is given to the employee as per the nature of the activities, and the workers are developed to take up higher responsibility. A remuneration is provided according to the nature of job to the employee. Transfer of employee from one job to another without any increase in pay, status or responsibility. Sometimes it is on promotion. Usually employees identified to be taking higher position in the organization are transferred to different departments so that they can learn the intricacies of functioning of different departments. The next step is staffing, and is known the attitude and opinion of employee. Towards their job performance, appraisal reveals how efficiently the employee is performing his or her job. Then directing is the heart of planning process. Planning, organizing, staffing has got no importance without directing. Also known as the commanding or executing function, it involves instructing, guiding, inspiring and supervising employees to make them work according to their plan. Directing initiates actions and it's here where the work starts. The definition given by G.R. Terre, directing means moving to action and supplying stimulative powers to a group of persons. The effort of an employee can be directed by using some technical tools. So main directive tools or techniques are leadership, influencing people and inspiring them to willingly accomplish the organizational objectives. Then motivating, it is one of the most important elements and challenging problem of the management. Motivating is related to inspire and encourage people at work. Then communicating, it also is related to the providing and receiving necessary information within and outside the organization. Then it's communicating, it is related to providing and receiving necessary information within and outside the organization. Then supervision is related to observe and correcting the performance of the employee. It involves overseeing and monitoring the work against time schedule, listening to the grievances and resolving them. Then controlling is another function of management. It includes step in controlling function being with the setting of standards which the business intended to attain. Standards could be both measurable and non-measurable. Measuring actual result is the second step of controlling process, and the performance is measured in terms of the deviation from the actual. Measuring actual results in the second step of controlling process, the performance is measured in terms of deviation from the actual. Performance of manager is determined by the attitude of the employee, moral to work, communication with top managers, etc. Then measuring actual result is the second step of controlling process. Without measuring that, we cannot control the process, and the performance is measured in terms of deviation from the actual. Then the gap between the actual performance and the set standard is determined. Then the extent of deviation from the standard, whether positive, negative, or in conformity with the planned target, should be in the knowledge of the manager. The reasons for deviation could be due to fault at the planning stage, lack of coordination among employee or department, improper implementation of plans, etc. Based on the reason identified, corrective measures are to be taken so that actual result matches with expected result. After implementation of corrective measures, if the deviations are not brought in conformity of the planned target, the managers need to revise those targets accordingly. Then is coordination. So it is a integral part of planning. Each managerial function is performed in a harmony and unified manner to achieve the goal and objectives of the organization. So this is called as coordination. Is a condition through that diffuses through all functions of the managerial process that we discussed above. Management levels and their functions. Management process which involves planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. It is such a process which consists of series of interrelated activities aimed at achieving organization goal and objectives. The success or failure of an enterprise is largely depends upon the quality of decisions taken up by its managers. So managers provide several theories and principles of knowledge that helps manager in taking several decisions related to area of finance, marketing, personnel and production. Management is multidisciplinary in nature. It draws information and concepts from various disciplines like economics, marketing, sociology, psychology and physiology, anthropology, etc. Thus the concept of management are universal in nature, but its application needs to be a lot of skills and expertise in accordance with the situation. Manager functions on the basis of their relative importance as assigned to personnel at different levels within an organization. In management, levels indicating the hierarchical position of the different employee as per their cadres in an organization. Then classification of managerial function. So the number of hierarchical positions in an organization depends on the factors like ownership structure, management philosophy, nature and size of the business, dispersion of activity and resource capacity. The basically managerial functions can be classified in three levels: the top level, middle level and the bottom level. Now we'll come to Unit 4, Planning Process. Hello, Pushpapriya, please mute yourself. So now we'll know how to plan things or process of planning. So steps involved in the process of planning are: first is analyzing the business environment, establishing the objective and goals, then considering and setting plans, planning premises, identifying alternatives, evaluating alternatives in light of the goal, selecting best alternative, formulating secondary plans, quantifying plans by making budgets, implementing the plans, and reviewing results. These are all coming under the steps involved in planning. First is analyzing business. Obviously, when you are starting any business, first you have to analyze the environment. If this business suits for this environment, then only you will start. Otherwise, you will not start. Of the opportunities and in the external environment and internal environment. Okay, just give me a second. So analyzing a business environment is the most important part before starting any business, and this is the first step of a planning process. So we should be planning before starting it. Then establishing objective and goal. So that is also should be clear. What are the objectives of this business, and it should be clearly planned. Okay. Then considering and setting planning premises. Premises and assumption about the environment in which the plan is to be carried out, that should be planned. Okay. Planning in any organization and set rest are on several assumptions about the expected environment. Then identifying alternatives. The first step is to identify the various alternatives that are available based on the planning premises. There are different course of actions that can be used to achieve the set objectives. Then evaluating alternatives in light of the goal. The next step in planning process is to explore and evaluate alternative plans of actions required to fulfill the goal of the organization. Then selecting the best alternatives. If we have different alternatives, then we have to select the best alternative on searching and examining alternatives, of course. Then formulating secondary plans. There are a number of plans to be developed at various level units in line with the plan selected. Plans at each function unit is prepared to understand the future requirement and uncertainties around it. Then quantifying plans by making budgets. In order to give plans more concerned meaning of implementation, budgets for various periods and divisions need to be prepared. Budgets can be meaning of adding togetherness to the plan of different units. Then implementing the plan at review results. So once the plan is implemented, the result obtained after the implementation should be reviewed. And if the satisfactory results are not obtained, then we have to change it. So management involves both planning and decision making. Planning involves the setting of goals for an organization and decision how best this could be achieved. Then environmental management system. So environmental management is a concept which is of recent origin. It is concerned with the management of environment surrounding a business. Environment brings together all inanimate organisms and force functions in nature, including human beings. So it could be defined as a system incorporating processes for summarizing, monitoring, reporting, developing and executing the environmental policies. So environmental management is defined as a cooperative strategy that monitors, develops and implements environmental policies of an organization. As a process of waste and maximizing minimizing waste and maximizing compliances. The process is created to address issues related to environment that have a direct or indirect impact on the global, affecting its adversely. To demonstrate the commitment of your organization towards environment, it is necessary to have an environment management system or EMS, which means the challenges of environment protection and sustainable development. So the EMS models are on the basis build on plan, do, check and act model built by Stewart and Deming. The basic objective of EMS is to establish minimum standards and develop site-specific EMS. To achieve the objective of the EMS, we need an action plan which should be integrated with other organizational plans, strategies and budgets. Environmental management can become easy if there is good environmental management plan or EMS. So environmental management plan is a key component of the environmental management system, driving organization, improving over the life of the plan. It is developed to prepare an outline of the measures that are to be implemented in order to minimize adverse environmental degradation associated with the project. So plan a program that seeks to achieve a required and end state and describe how activities which have or could have an adverse effect on the environment will be mitigated, controlled and monitored during the commissioning, mobilizing, constructing, operating, maintenance and decommissioning of a project. The environment management plan consists of all mitigation measures for each component of the environment due to the activities arising during the operational phase of the project. The plan is generally provided in accordance with the rules and regulations laid down by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, MEVE-12, and the main benefits of having EMF is that it serves as a means of managing environmental performance, thereby contributing to improve environmental quality. It also helps in cost control and improve relationship with stakeholders. So the main elements are commitment and policies. An organization should make provisions for incorporation and implementation of all issues related to air, water, land and noise. Then planning. This includes identification of environment impact, carrying out analysis and evaluation of surrounding, legal requirements and setting environmental objectives. In implementation, the next element is implementation, which comprises of resources available to the developer, accountability of the contractor, training of operational staff associated with environmental control facilities, and documentation of measures to be taken. measurement and evaluation, to have an effective implementation of mitigation measures and conduct environmental monitoring. To assess the implementation EMF by carrying out periodical environmental audits. Developing corrective action plans to correct various issues identified during the audit. Purpose. What are the main purpose of environmental plan? To encourage good management practices through planning and commitment to environmental issues. To ensure judicious use of environment resources to meet the needs and aspirations of the present and future. Provide an outline as to how to report management of environment and evaluate its performance periodically. Then document environmental concern and appropriate protection measures. Provide environmental guidelines which will assist in practically minimizing the potential environmental impact of the activities to protect sensitive and endangered flora and fauna. Integrated environmental concern into policies, plans, programs and projects for economic and social development to prevent degradation of land through soil erosion, alkaline salinization, water lodging, pollution and reducing in organic matter content. Minimizing environmental disturbances such as physical, biological, ecological, social, economic, cultural, etc. To comply and adhere to law, regulations, standards and guidelines for protection of environment. Reduce environmental risk and provide better health, safety and environment. Clearly describe monitoring procedures needed to find impact on the environment. To highlight specific requirements that will be monitored during the development. If the environmental impact have not been prevented, correction action to be taken. Then environmental assessment. Assessment, as we all know, is a result of analyzing and evaluating something. Analyzing means making careful observation and evaluating means making a judgment of the options based on what we see and know to be true. An analysis and evaluation of the surroundings such as plants, animals, earth, water, etc. is included in environmental assessment. An important objective of environmental assessment is to develop plans and processes to ensure that the mitigation, measurement and monitoring requirements approved during the environmental compliances review will actually be carried out in the subsequent stage of the project. An assessment could be done by involving the whole community and using survey methods. It can also be taken up by interviewing, doing research, preparing a video, taking assistance of a contractor or else a combination of different methods. Environmental assessment are generally done in the beginning stage of the environmental planning process. Then environmental planning process is a process that facilitates decision making to carry out the development of land, giving due consideration to the natural environment, social, political, economic and governance factors, providing a holistic framework to achieve sustainable outcomes. So the aim of environmental planning is to create sustainable communities which can conserve and protect underdeveloped land. The main objective of environmental planning is to improve the quality of the environment, also the health and welfare of the people. So environmental planning evaluates how the social, political, economical and governing factors affect the natural environment, which considering development with success planned society gaining by being able to use the land in productive manner, and the environment again by being able to sustain itself for future generations. The first component of planning is to consider the current status of the natural environment. It will include evaluating present use, features, natural resources, infrastructures and buildings. The second component involves setting goals and objectives. It involves consideration of the rules, regulations, laws and need of the society. The last component is implementation, which involves putting the plan into action. It takes into action material, resources, personnel and technology need to be carrying out the plan. Environment planning is very complex and it involves both complexities of environment and also those of the human being. Such steps involved in environment planning progress. First is constituting a planning team, developing a vision statement, defining needs as environmental assessment, identify possible solution, putting the plan together, carrying out these invest plans, then evaluate the plan. So environmental planning is a part of the corporate vision, mission and strategy, hence should be effectively planned in order to remain competitive. Corporate leaders need to define the strategies taking into consideration the environmental concern, adapting international national law, ensuring compliance to the environmental standard. These considerations constitute an important factor in designing a product or service for the environment. Planning leads to the preventive measure and future environmental changes. Effective planning will smoothen the implementation and reduce environmental burden, as most of the source of environmental burdens would be anticipated and addressed. So steps involved in environmental planning processes are constituting a planning team, developing a vision statement, defining needs using environmental assessment, then identify possible solutions and putting the plans together. Carrying out the investment plan and evaluating the plan. Then constituting a planning team. The first step in the environmental planning process is to identify leaders who are concerned about the organization, community and environment, health and wellness. Okay, this is the planning team which will consider about the wellness of different people. They should be in the team. The question that must be addressed first is why the organization pursuing the development of an EMO. Will it be applicable at one location or multiple locations? How this is going to help in achieving the goal. The planning team should have the confidence of the top management. The management must be explain the strength and weakness of the present approach and how it can affect the financial and environmental performance of the organization. The top management plans an important role in ensuring that the goals of the EMS are in line with the organizational goals. Then developing a vision statement, the team along with the top management needs to develop a long-term plans for the organization. The team perspectives can identify and assess issues, opportunities and existing processes. Based on the past experiences, it needs to be seen whether the organization is trying to improve its environmental performance, be it related to control of pollution, disposal of waste, etc. Is there any involvement of any all division employee in this task? And the goal must be referred back time and again to see if they are being met and what should be the future goal. The future course of action should be described as to what should be the action plan, who will be responsible for the task. So, for example, in case of village development, the process of developing a vision begins with collecting information about the values, beliefs and ways of looking at the world by the community. Ask people to come up with all environmental issues that are relevant to their village. Listing and grouping of similar issues such as garbage on road, pollutants in river water, etc. will help in developing surveys. And the community members should then look at whether their present action threatens the community ability to survive or supports itself in the future. Then defining needs using environmental assessment. One, we are learners from the mistake community Same applied to EMS also. The organization can learn from the mistake and prevent similar mistake in the future. We should be learning from others' mistakes. So the statement need to be a bit flexible to incorporate the change or required based on the assessment carried out by means of formal or informal survey. The employees of the organization should be aware about the why an EMS is required and how it is beneficial for the organization in controlling environmental impact in a cost-effective manner. Assessing the present system being used most cost-effectively, solutions can be provided to the organization in managing environmental obligations, bringing about change in the EMS, ensuring that it becomes more viable and effective in the present time as well as the future. So next step is to identify the needs and the desires of the community and consider the consequence of various operations like mining, backyard burning or climate change may have on the community future. So the technical survey carried out by the technical people of the team regarding drinking water, solid waste, quality of water, energy usage, emergency preparedness, so these are the technical survey about drinking water, solid waste management and everything. Then identify possible solutions. Once the problems are known, then we should work out what are the possible solutions. How to solve the problems which are already there. That should be our approach. Then we should be involving the younger generation of the community in solving the solution of their village, because the young mass, because you also will become old next year, so the young mass should be inputted so that the organization goes on flourishing. Then all members of the community, especially the younger section, must be involved in the finding possible solution. Then putting the plan together. The next step after having developed vision statement, building consensus among the top management, team leaders and employees over precise environment issue, listing down the various issues and their probable solution. It is now the time to produce the environmental plan. The goals and priorities identified by the communities are put down on paper. Paving the way towards achieving of environmental protection and health. This will help the present and future staff in identifying the areas of concern and determining what work still needs to be done. The plan should focus on highest environmental priorities, but at the same time, taking up urgent problems using resources readily available in the village. The environmental plan is to support by breaking the goal into smaller and more manageable steps. Then, carrying out the invest-raised plans, employees are at a great source of knowledge on issues related to environmental health and safety that are directly related to their work area. So they know how on current processes and procedures could help the team in drafting the process to be laid down in the plan. Since they are involved in the development of the plan, the onus lies more on them to carry it out successfully. While carrying out the plan, the progress may be shared with the employees. Accomplishments may be communicated to the top management, especially if additional resources are required. Then after environmental plan is ready for the village, the next step would be to prepare a detailed schedule of each task, keeping in mind the availability of the resources. Then evaluating the plan, The progress is to be regularly monitored against project planning. It is necessary to measure how well the plan is working so that the required changes could be made. In present time, digital photos before and after the work done could help in keeping track of the work carried out. Then environmental plan is constantly changing. After evaluating the whole process, begin again. This is a continuous cycle where you need to revisit your vision, needs and decisions again. How individuals or groups decide to use energy, natural resources, and even outdoor recreational area are all part of the planning process. Environmental planning and decision making go hand. So this is how environmental plan can be used to manage environment of a village or a office or a industry or a town or a country also. Okay, because we are constantly degrading the environment in which we are living. So we have to take utmost care that we manage the environment properly so that further degradation of the environment doesn't take place and we leave a very clean and good environment for our future generation. The one we got from our forefathers, we should also leave that for our children. But what we are doing is we are degrading the environment every day, due to which the future of our children are at risk. Means what will be the environment in which they will take birth? Can they survive such environment? Okay, can they flourish in such environment? So if we have to think about them, then we have to start managing from today. Not from today, from now. From now on itself, we should be starting to conserve things. Okay. So the key words here were environmental management, environmental planning, environmental assessment. Okay. So that ends this block. Any doubts related to this block, you can ask me. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Then tomorrow we'll start with the second block in this unit.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you all for your time. Hope you all understood what I delivered today. Thank you all. Good night. Anybody has any questions? Okay. So as no one has any doubts, I am ending the class here. Thank you. See you tomorrow at the same time.